What's up, guys? Welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name's Chad. This is our project Volvo C30. If you're new to the channel, thank you for tuning in. If you've been with us the whole time, thank you so much for your support. Today, we're going to talk tuning. We're actually going to be tuning the C30. We're using an Elevate tuner, a flash tune on this. And before we get into any of that, I just want to take a second and talk about tuning. Now, when most people think tuning, they think of two different ways to tune a car. The first way is a flash tune, like our flash tuner from Elevate. This is the actual unit we're going to be using later to tune this car after we put the exhaust on it. The other form of tuning is standalone. This is an AEM unit. This was actually purchased for my Lexus, which unfortunately it's not going to be going into. But the two forms of tuning you have, standalone and flash. And we're just going to touch on what the difference is between them. We're going to start with the standalone. Now, the reason you would use something like this is it gives you ultimate control. You get the car on a dyno, you get a guy in a laptop. You're very familiar with these videos if you've watched them on YouTube, guys getting their cars tuned on the dyno. Basically, you take this unit, you put it in your car, you basically have a connection with a laptop, and they go through various different runs. This has the capability of data logging, so you do a run, they check the air-fuel ratios, they make adjustments to how long your injectors stay open, to ignition timing, things like that. And this can all be done on the fly with something like this. The drawbacks to something like this, first and foremost, is the cost. A good one of these might set you back almost $1,000. Some are a little cheaper than that, some are a little more expensive than that, but it's a very expensive way of tuning. Plus, you have to pay for the dyno time, which isn't cheap. It's usually $200 to $300 just to have someone tune your car. The other drawback to something like this is wiring. Now, for the Lexus, we got lucky, and we got a patch harness. So as you can see, only a few plugs, and the rest of it plugs right back in to the AEM unit and the factory ECU. This is simple when it comes to wiring. A lot of times, when you go with a standalone, you have to rewire the entire car. Again, it gives you ultimate control. However, I don't know about you, but I'm not particularly fond of wiring. Sure, a few wires here and there, it's not the end of the world. But when you're talking about 100 or so wires that live under the engine or live under the hood of a modern engine, you can see how that gets real complicated real quick. Now, that brings me to flash tuners, like this one from Elevate. Number one, cost. These will typically run you a lot cheaper than a standalone unit. And the benefits to this, now while it doesn't give you ultimate control like a standalone does, what you are paying for is someone else's time, someone else's research. So effectively, Elevate, they put the C30 on the dyno, they dyno tuned it, they figured out what would work best based on mods, so in our case, exhaust, and they did all of the air-fuel ratios for you, the ignition timing for you, the boost for you. They did all of that for you. So what you're paying for is someone else figuring it out, as opposed to having someone sit in the car with a laptop and do it on the fly. The downsides to these, it doesn't give you the ultimate control that a standalone does, but again, you're paying for that R&D. It gets you pretty damn close. You don't have to rewire the car. And as you will see later in this video, these things are ridiculously easy to use. And the upshot, this little thing here will give you more horsepower per dollar than any other mod on your car. So what do you need to tune with something like this? Well, first and foremost, you need a PC, a Windows-enabled PC. Unfortunately, my $5,000 Mac that's sitting at home won't cut it. You need to get a PC. So, seeing as how there's not a PC in my house, I had to enlist some help. So while we're on our way to meet Greg and get this bad boy tuned and being one step closer to this C30's ultimate performance goal, I wanted to go over a couple things. The number one thing I'm asked, the number one thing you guys ask me all the time is, why am I going with Elevate's tune? Why am I not using somebody else like Hilton or something like that. And this is in no way a slight against those guys. We obviously use the Hilton tune on the V70R. However, the number one reason is I'm going to be using a lot of Elevate components on this car. You already saw me put the 3-inch exhaust in there, and I'm going to be using stuff like their high performance intake manifold, in addition to front mounts, intakes, and so on. So when it comes time to tune, to me it was a fairly simple answer, and that is, when they were developing their tune, now a lot of people accuse Elevate of using a quote-unquote canned tune, and that just simply isn't the case. Elevate tailors every single one of their tunes to specific vehicles, down to the VIN number, in addition to all of the aftermarket componentry that they put on the car. And since we're going to be using so much of Elevate's stuff when it comes to performance parts, it just becomes obvious that they developed their tune around their parts. So as far as efficiency, as far as maximizing each and every part to its fullest potential, it just makes sense to use Elevate's tune. Now, in addition to being able to custom build you a tune that takes into account your car's specific VIN number, the specific parts you have installed in your car, the specific parts you are planning to install on your car, Elevate also goes down to the type of fuel you're going to be using. Now, in a lot of states, 91 octane is the highest octane you can get. We are going to be using 93. That's just what's readily available here in New Jersey. But in some states you can get up to 94 octane. And now going with the fuel allows you to push the tune to its absolute max. So when it comes to things like ignition timing and things of that type, it allows you to get the absolute best out of the tune based on readily available parts and fuel. Now, what a lot of people elect to do is they elect to go and get their car what's known as Dyno Tune. What that entails is you get a tuner. It's very similar to, say, having a standalone and tuning that way. However, it's a much longer process. So effectively how it works is you do a pull on the dyno. The tuner then downloads the data, the logged data, makes adjustments to the tune. You do another dyno pull, download the data, make adjustments, and so on and so forth. Now, can you get a really good tune this way? Absolutely. The problem is one, it's a very long process. As you can imagine, at 3 minutes a clip to download, 3 minutes a clip, and those are just rough numbers, to upload a new tune, and you're doing this multiple times, you can see how time starts to stack up. The other downside to this is you really need someone who knows your platform, knows what an engine can tolerate, knows what air-fuel ratios an engine wants and needs. You need someone who specifically knows, in our case, a Volvo turbocharged 5-cylinder. And believe it or not, there's not a lot of these people around. So finding one can prove to be quite difficult. And if you take it to someone who's like, yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing, you run the risk of having just either an underperforming tune, or worse, a bad tune that somewhere down the line might end up causing the motor to be hurt, or to blow a turbo, or something that you really don't want with your car. So for all these reasons, for ease of use, for research and development, for accuracy of tune, for customization, and all of this, going with a company like Elevate is really a no-brainer. They've done everything. They've taken all the risk out of the equation for you. They've developed everything for your specific needs. It's really, for me, and especially with all the components I've used, it was a very easy decision to make. And here's the best part. You don't even really need to bolt on a metric ton of performance parts to get the most out of a tune. In fact, when it comes for value, or for horsepower to dollar, or value for money, or basically getting the biggest bang for your buck, any tune is going to give you that over an exhaust, over an intake, over basically the number one power adder we are doing to this car is the tune. It's not the exhaust, it's not the combination of all the intake componentry we're doing, it's the tune. So if you just want to wake your relatively stock car up, or even a bone stock car up, a tune is the first thing you should go with, because no other part is going to give you the same horsepower per dollar. All right, so real quick, I got here before Greg. I understand meeting in a shady parking lot to do a tune is
maybe a little out of the ordinary. May or may not look like we're about to, you know, sell some entertainment objects, but this is just central to where we meet and or where we both work. So here he is.
I heard you need an expert Volvo tuner.
I hear you got them tunes, man.
I got them tunes, bro.
Let's get to
You
it,
got
man.
that C30 action?
Yeah, it's right there, man.
All right, sweet. Let's do this.
Elevate provides you with all the instruction you will ever need. After you download the tuning software onto your PC, you can download the brand new tune file. When ready to tune, check for an update, and when that's done, load the new file onto your handheld device.
Okay, so plug ECM tune handheld into vehicle. OBD2 this piece. On this it says select program vehicle, press enter.
Yeah.
Okay, turn ignition to position 2, then press enter again. That's the stupidest key I've ever seen. I can't believe that that's an actual key that was ever conceived.
All right, we're ignition 2.
Okay, select the file to be programmed. Press scroll to find the proper file. Press enter to program the file. So tuned it is. Verify ready to program. Press enter to continue or press scroll to abort the programming process. Do not unplug the handheld unit during this step. Program ready.
We just hit enter. It is important to note that once this thing is saying programming or PROG with 3 dots, do not unplug the tuner, because that'll send the car into an uber safe limp mode that can be corrected, but it is a spectacular pain in the ass. So just be patient.
If you're really questioning how to do this, it should tell you literally right on the handheld device. So
we are sitting in a parking lot tuning a car. It should tell you, and we're doing it. So that should tell you how idiot proof it is.
yeah, if I can do the V70R, which is sitting right behind us, and if we can do the C30, you guys can definitely tune this thing. And when we say tune, we don't mean actually like fiddle with things. We just mean plug it into the OBD2 and flash the ECU, which everyone should be able to do. It's super easy.
Like I mentioned before, there's a bunch of different ways to tune a vehicle. This file has already been developed by Elevate using their parts, using their dyno, using all of that stuff. So literally, it's about as plug and play as it gets.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the V70R.
Yeah.
Is it actually running?
It is running. I'm so happy to have it back. I love this car so much. It's like, it's a baby. It's so awesome. I love that freaking car. I like that car so much that I'm selling the Aston and keeping that. So that should tell you guys how much I love that car and how much we want to bring you guys awesome content. But the car is great. It feels really good. There are definitely some stuff. There are some things that are still wrong with it. But it is on the up and up. It's good enough for a dyno. It is good for basically anything we would need, and that sound means that I think we're done tuning.
It's clearing DTCs, so I'm guessing that's codes.
Down to C30? Is that what that DTCs mean?
Yeah, it's down to party.
I'm down to C30, bro.
We just put it in full-on party mode.
Yay! I love party mode. Party mode's the best mode.
So when everyone's going to be seeing this video, it'll be after. You're actually going to the dyno tomorrow.
Yes, today is Monday of this week. I'm going to the dyno tomorrow, which is most obviously Tuesday.
Program success.
Ooh, nice.
Can I unplug it now?
Please hold. We'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah.
So turn off ignition. Press any button. All right.
Because that was hard.
Don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up. Yay!
Woo!
It turns on.
Fantastic. Everything seems good.
Yep. Now, important to note, all you need is a PC for this. You literally don't need anything else. And this is any PC. I literally just did this on my work laptop. So
Greg's employers don't.
Are we going for a quick drive, I guess?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I need a seatbelt.
Overrated.
All right, that's going on the floor. That's going on the floor. Ah! I'm too excited! Don't kill me.
No promises.
Do you notice anything about the throttle response as we pull away?
I don't know. We're out on gravel, so.
Whee! Yay, sliding.
Oh shit.
Here, give me that.
Yeah. Definitely feels a little punchier.
Yeah. Oh my god, these seatbelts are so tender.
Oh, it annoys the hell out of me because like you get to an intersection and you're like,
Yeah.
like
Is that going to be like 5 things I hate about this car? Is you get to an intersection and you're like, oh god,
I'd like to see what's about to kill me.
Car sounds good.
Yeah, well,
It doesn't sound too drony at all.
Well,
I'm also coming from a full turbo back inside of a wagon that basically has nothing in it. So
But we also haven't gotten really above 2,500.
that's true. This car seems very smooth. I haven't been in this thing yet.
And one. Yep.
Wheel spin. Ooh. Ooh, okay. That's nice.
She's punchy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. That pulls nice. Holy crap, yes! Okay.
Let's not do. Okay.
You know, this thing feels just as quick as a V70R. Holy crap. Definitely punchier. That sounds good.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
definitely-
Tesla, want to race?
That thing's going to destroy you.
Shut up, Greg.
Oh my god, awesome.
All right, so
So yeah.
I'd say the tune has been highly successful.
That seems real good to me.
We have no fault codes, which is fantastic.
Except for tire low pressure, which has nothing to do with that. Hello. Oh, all the wheel spins. Ooh,
Tasty.
that is awesome. And that sounds
Yeah.
so good with the new downpipe and exhaust.
Oh yeah, dude.
Even though
You can
the-
actually hear it now, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. Like before, all you were getting was like a little bit of engine noise, which
Yeah.
I hate. And now we're just knocking the tires loose in first and second gear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix that with significantly wider rubber, but you guys will
should.
just have to stay tuned for that video because we got
Yes.
a pretty large announcement there.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good. I'm really excited for that, especially since I know what this car looks like with the wheels you're getting, and it's gonna be awesome.
Well, I'm completely redoing the entire intake system.
Yeah.
So we're going intake, intercooler piping, front mount intercooler, intake manifold.
That'll give you 30, and that will definitely chirp it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point, we'll be ready for our first test against the Civic Type R.
Yes.
Because even now we're still not on the same power level as the Type R.
Right.
And I think then we can do another challenge with the big brother.
I think that we should race these cars against each other. See what's going on. So you guys should leave comments in the comment section below. Do you want to see hashtag sibling rivalry between the C30 and the V70R? And you know, let us know what you guys think and what we should do. We want to hear all of your suggestions. We want to hear everything you guys have to think about that really, really awesome idea that we totally just came up with and haven't talked about it all before.
Oh yeah, there was no.
Nah, it was very off the cuff.
I haven't already made stuff.
Nah, me neither. We live in Tesla country here, by the way. So
And they're all Model 3s. Production hell my ass.
yeah.
But
It's all
yeah,
right. They're all falling apart and the exhausts are coming off, so it's fine. Or the
exhaust.
Sorry, no, the exhaust.
Hold on. The exhaust.
Yeah, they're all LS swapped. Shut up. Yeah, all the rear bumpers are good.
God damn these
That is-
seatbelts.
Yo, the V70R looks purple in this light. It's awesome.
It is purple.
It's not purple.
It's so purple.
It's blurple. Get it right.
So yeah, that is our first test drive.
I love the way that car looks.
That is our first test drive with our brand new tune, with our exhaust. She hauls serious amounts of ass, but we're not done there.
Yes.
We are getting ever closer to taking on this Type R and ever closer to the sibling rivalry, which we are totally going to bring up. And you guys tell us in the comments. We want to hear your challenge ideas. We want to hear which car you prefer as they sit right now.
Yeah.
We want to know which car you think is going to end up being faster, all that stuff. Because basically, you dream up a test, we're going to try like hell to do it in a legal and responsible way.
Legal and responsible, key words there.
Yeah.
And huge thank you to Elevate for this awesome tune for today, because yeah, this thing punches up right now big time. Again, considering I wasn't in the car before, but I've been in C30s and I've been in cars of considerable weight and power before, and this is way faster than it should rightfully be now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So again, yes, good job, Elevate. Excellent tune, well done, at least right off the bat. So yeah, very cool.
And I can't wait to get more in it. The next time you see this car will either be new wheels and tires or the dyno. Depends on when I get the new wheels and tires.
Yeah.
When I get those are basically going right on this car because I feel like the appearance should match the performance now.
Agree.
The dyno, because I can't wait to see just how much more power we've added with this thing.
That's
like,
gonna be so good.
Like, I told you guys in the last video, 10%. If you don't add 10% at the wheels for horsepower, you're not gonna feel it.
Yeah.
I can definitely freaking feel it in here.
Yeah,
definitely,
this is great.
Definitely feel it. So I really want to see what the numbers are so you guys can have an idea. Like I said earlier, a lot of people use tunes and don't do anything else to the car.
That's true.
And the tune is the best way of gaining power you could possibly do for the money and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm really stoked to see just what we put up.
Yeah.
But for that, that's a wrap. I want to thank Greg and his Windows computer for helping me out with this tune.
You're
because
welcome.
as my $5,000 Mac can't handle this. Thanks, Apple.
Way to go.
I want to thank Don and Elevate for helping me out with the tune, with the exhaust, with basically all of our performance parts so far. They've been a massive help, troubleshooting a lot of stuff and providing the parts in a really timely fashion.
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
order placed, parts are there in a few days.
Yeah, thanks, Don. You guys are awesome over
Thank
there.
you so much. If you guys want this tune, which I highly recommend for your C30,
Oh, yeah.
hit up the description below. I will definitely be putting a link there so you can get your own.
Yep.
As always, you can find all of us on social media at Shifting Lanes. You can find me at Chenedy83. You can find Greg at The Real Gregson M.
Yes. Well done. I forgot it myself actually for a hot second. Yes, at Real Gregson M.
Hit us up with all your questions there. If you want to continue the conversation outside of the YouTube comments, definitely hit us up there. We try to respond to everyone. We really appreciate all your guys' support. But as for this one, that's a wrap. We will catch you next time.
See ya.